What is going on, you guys? This is Bach the Rock, and tonight, guys, we're doing an OBS video. So, tonight, guys, I wanted to do a video where I will be watching a video from approximately about 2 years ago. Now, if you guys heard of this incident, that's good. If you did not hear about this incident, making sure my audio comes in just fine. Okay. So my audio is coming in just fine. So, if you guys don't remember this, this happened a while back, about over 2 years ago, 3 years ago. I don't know the exact time frame. However, legal mindset here, the guy we're going to be watching, that's down below, or angle my finger right over here. He's going to discuss everything, and we are going to pipe in, listen. And I will pause it here and there and react to my own 2 cents. Like, put in what I would do differently, or I would. But before we get into this video, guys, I'm going to explain little tidbits of information just so you guys remember. We were talking about, the last time we discussed something like this, we were talking about Ramzi Khalid Ismail, aka Johnny Somali, which we're not going to give him respect. We're not going to use his YouTube moniker. So, if you guys don't know the details, I'm going to cut you down because apparently within the next 4 days, he's pretty much going to be chopped off at the balls pretty much. So, I'll give you guys the leniency, or I'll give you guys the heads up about what happened. So, this guy, so just to list the bullet points, this guy travels the world in his 20s, goes to different countries, and causes trouble. And to give you guys the bullet points of trouble he's caused, he went to Israel. He went to the Jewish Wailing Wall, and he put 3 pictures in the Jewish Wailing Wall. One picture was of Harvey Epstein. I think it was Jeffrey Epstein, Harvey Weinstein, and Aiden Ross. He lists 2 of them who were labeled as well, I'm not gonna say the exact words, but if you guys know what a pedo bear is, then yeah. 2 of them who are pedo bears, and one of them, of course, which is a Kickstream owner. So basically, out of the 2 he put into the wall first, he basically labeled them as top Jews. Then he went to Tel Aviv, which, if you guys know about the Israel and the Tel Aviv section, basically, he was in the middle of a protest, and he decided to catcall a female officer. And we've discussed this in one of my old vids. I gave my points on the crimes, the location, and the consequences that possibly should have happened, but I don't condone. So, And the Tel Aviv incident, I would say he should have been tasered, pepper spray with bear mace, either one that would pretty much tell him to pretty much shut the front door, or step out on the front porch, or pretty much just zip the lip. Or, to quote a famous movie, this is what he's doing. This is what he needed to do. Only with the F-bomb. So, anyway. But let's continue on before we get into the vid. So then, he decided to go to Thailand and pretty much mess with a kick streamer by the name of Burger Planet. They told him to leave him the Fuji Tora alone, and instead of just listening, he got shoved into a koi pond. Once that happened, I don't know if I have my chat open, which I'll have to get that, guys. I am sorry. Like I said, I just I did not even think about that. I don't know if I can get the chat source. Well, I got my thing open, so if anybody joins the chat, I'll keep it in that way. So So yeah, so basically Ramsey got pushed into a koi pond full of fish, lost his cell phone, and pretty much long story short, he pretty much got himself into a fine pickle of water. Okay. Then of course you got the Japan incident where I'm gonna repeat the phrases, and to anyone from Japan watching, I humbly apologize. I am just repeating the mess that happened. So, but I respect your history, I respect the culture, and I respect not to bring up the painful eras of your guys' past. So, but I'm only bringing it up for this occasion. Oh, I need to turn down this a little bit. All right, we're about right here. So, what happened on that one, guys? He was in Japan. He was on a monorail, and he kept bringing up the two histories of the atomic bombings. Now, if you guys remember here, the history we learned about Japan's two atomic bombings, Hiroshima and Nagasaki. But then we also learned about the one, the crap, what was it? He brought up another one which was like a nuclear explosion. So basically, he brought up one that basically, it was like a nuclear explosion. So that's where things get a little, you know, iffy. So anyway, besides that point, guys, what we're gonna do. So after all that, guys, he got hunkered down in Seoul, South Korea. He desecrated a comfort women statue. He did all that, and then on top of that, he caused a lot of mischief. Yeah, so he did all that and got himself in hot water, got himself in the drink. So now, um, we're gonna be going over this a little bit. So we're gonna go play back an incident that happened 2 years ago, which should have been one of his obstruction of business charges. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna play through this video. And guys, I will say this. This video does belong to Legal Mindset. I'm only watching it for a reaction. We are going to watch exactly what happened that night, close to 2 years, over 3 years ago, over at Seoul, South Korea, outside the ABC Pizza Shop. And I'm gonna throw in my 2 cents in on each of the situations, which I'll play a bit. We'll watch the scene, and then I'll explain where things should have gone better or should have gone worse. So, enough with the nitty gritty. Let's get into the vid in three, two, one. All right. We got that. Right here. Yeah. So just to pause it here, guys. Just to show you guys. So you guys can't see my cursor, but right here, right here, you guys see where the ABC Pizza is. This place right here. All right, now I'm gonna explain the little bits and pieces of where the incidents go left and right. So right here is where ABC Pizza is, right in front where they explained it. Uh, I'll just use my finger right here. So I should flip around my camera. So about right over here is where the whole incident takes place. Now, so right here, so down here is where the front. Now, as you guys can see, the girl right there, where the right past the guy, basically where the skirt is. Now, I looked up her point of view, guys, but all the videos just got kaputski because I looked on Kick and everything. So when I looked it up on Kick, basically what ended up happening was the footage got scrambled. I don't know if they deleted it. I don't know what. I should have saved it, but at the time I didn't have a proper computer. I may look back and I may get some of the footages to show on OBS, and then I will tell you guys what's going down. But you guys will see some of the people that were involved in this mess. And the one that we're starting with right now is the girl that's recording. The one that's, and I'm going to say the one that's wearing the all white dress with the white shoes. So we're going to start from there. So let's move on.
ABC Pizza. So it's clear in the
And
video
he's going to
that
explain it
matches up with the
first.
photo I just showed you, so we can identify the location as ABC Pizza in Mapo and Hongdae. Now,
Or
real
I
quick,
can move it a little
that
bit.
girl, I forget her name. I think people that have told me about
I'll
is their
skip ahead a
thing
little
for all
bit.
the eye roll. No.
Imagine being able to get
Ah,
an app with your name on it.
dagnabbit. Sorry, guys. The other thing is I don't have Prime. So basically the ads will pop up.
Just by thinking about it.
So I will wait until
Meat-based
the ad
photo
ends.
It's not friendly. So John,
So we're going to rewind.
that kind of is there. To me, it's a little weird because they all end up like tracking each
So
other
I'm going
and
to,
coming to the same spot. And
actually, I'm going to
it
shrink
just
this
seems a
down a
little
little
weird. I
bit,
guess
see if
that's
I
the
can.
IRL culture. You better get your money. No, it's not.
Okay, so just to move up a little bit, we're going to explain this.
Friendly. So Johnny.
So if you guys heard him just now, Ramsey Khalid Ismail said it was not friendly. So to explain what's going on here, I'll give you a hint. So the girl, you can't see my cursor, so I forgot to flip my camera. Dagnabbit. Hold on a second, and let me see if I can flip my camera. Cause the way my camera is, guys, it's basically like if I try to point to with my right hand, it comes up as my left, and if I try to point with my left hand, it comes up as my right. So it's like, if I can find it. No. Okay, I am trying to. No. Color spacing, apply. Here, flip vertically. See if that'll work. Oh, nope. Nope. Default auto detect. Uh, configure video, deactivate. Yeah, you guys just saw that. I made a fool of myself. I literally. I saw the. I saw the flip vertically, and I'm thinking, wait a minute, that should, I don't think it's gonna let me. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna let me switch, but beside the point, guys. So beside the point, guys. I don't know if it'll let me flip it. Hold on. Uh, okay, I don't want to do that. Configure what's uh, uh hold on a second. Okay, that won't do nothing. But I know, guys. Before you say anything, I know I am really, really trying my best to figure out. Oh wait, hold on. What's this? I'm really trying to fix this here, but if it doesn't let me to do it, okay, yeah. So yeah. So basically, I got to point this way because this is my right hand. So like I was saying back in the vid, guys. So the girl in the white next to the guy that would be one of the kick streamers, Moxie. So basically, they're all at ABC Pizza. And basically, what she tries to do is basically Ramsey and his buddy Gino, who reminder is like a couple of chihuahuas. Basically, they decide they're gonna go up in there and say, "Oh, well, we want our money," and da 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 da, and basically they cause all kinds of problems. So she tries to pretty much be polite, give them a bottle of soju, or in this case, South Korean liquor, and polite as a gesture of saying, "Hey, we want peace. We don't want no trouble." Da 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 da. But of course, as you guys heard in the vid, they want to claim they want trouble. So we'll continue from there and just keep going. So give me 1 sec to play it.
Thing comes up and initially says it's not friendly. Now this is going to change very quickly, and keep an eye on this. But no quickly, and keep an eye on this. It's not friendly. It's not friendly.
So I can't fast forward it very much.
No.
See, she
So
gives them
she's
about.
offering him the alcohol.
See, so like there, you guys just saw. She was sitting there offering the alcohol, trying to show a sign of peace. Like to show a sign, hey, we don't want no trouble. We just want to 100% pretty much just squash the bug. So basically, what she tried to do is she tried to offer the soju as a sign of peace. Now, I will admit, legal mindset did cover this a little bit better, but but I'm just gonna put this up here. So yeah. So let's get back into this. I am gonna do like I said, I am reacting to the vid. I'm sitting here watching through it, and then I will tell you my 2 cents in if he were to do that in the U.S. or if him and his buddy Gino were to do that in the U.S. We'll go from there. So let's move on.
Alcohol is like a making peace here thing, right? And they're coming in here saying, nope, this is not friendly. No. That's crazy, Marcy. Don't try to. We're not drinking from that. Don't try to be friendly with us now. No. That's crazy. No. Okay.
All right, and you guys saw that. Basically, Gino got splashed with alcohol. You guys saw that she was jumping around and stuff, and she sprayed Gino with the alcohol. Now, to be fair, if this was in the U.S., he basically was saying they were here to cause trouble, and so even though that's basically assault, if it was in the U.S., but however, you guys will see how it'll escalate a little bit. And when we get to that point, I will show you guys exactly what happened here. And to be fair, and I will say this, I don't condone violence, but if Ramsey, Gino, and Hank were pretty much in the U.S. and they weren't carrying, then I can guarantee you. Let's just say I will explain what happened in a good detail, but I'll use an anime description with how bad it would have been. So we'll get to that point. Let's move on.
So right there is one thing I want to
I'm
point
gonna
out,
try to
and this is probably the only time.
fast forward it a little bit.
Don't do it. Now they can't. So now this is people are spamming the chat. Self defense. You literally. So that's one big thing. And once again, it's not America.
The April 15th tax deadline is
Ah,
coming
damn it.
You can skip the line, and a TurboTax
Ah.
expert can do your taxes for you.
Yeah, and guys, I'll tell you one thing. I am definitely going to have to get an ad blocker. Okay, so we're going to continue watching this, and then we'll go from there.
So then he.
Okay, now this is where the situation would have gotten worse. So if you were in the U.S., guys, right here, where what Gino just did. Hold on, rewind. I'm gonna try to rewind a hair. I don't have this thing as big as I need it to be, but I'm gonna rewind just a hair, and I'm gonna show you guys that again. So it's about right here. Yeah, about right here. Now just watch. She's drinking the soju, and he threw it in her face. Now, if Gino was in a bar, now I'm gonna explain this carefully because you guys just saw how Moxie got splashed in the face with the liquor. If Gino was in a U.S. bar and he would have done that to a lady, he probably could have been left with broken bones because you know how gentlemanly codes work nowadays. If you would have done that to somebody's girlfriend, or you would have done that to somebody's other half, either the boyfriend or the husband would probably wind up in jail because technically that's assault. And like I said, I don't condone violence, but it would technically be considered assault if he threw a drink on her, and pretty much he would have wound up with a broken arm and pretty much thrown 3 ways to Sunday. Now, if you guys ever watched Yellowstone, you know how violent that show could get. Take that mess and multiply it times 3. That's how bad I could see Gino and Ramsey getting it. Okay, but let's continue on. And to you guys who just joined the stream, welcome, welcome. Again, we're going to be finishing this up.
Okay, so then he splashes him, and he splashed it in her face.
So
So
we're going to
there's
fast forward
alcohol.
this a little
It's
bit.
actually a fun fact. So assault. Let me repeat that. So to is the glass? Yeah, the Korea rules.
Okay, so just to shorten what he said, if you guys are in South Korea, there's no self defense rule. Okay, so I fast forwarded a little bit, but I'm going to explain basically. So what he was just explaining was that in South Korea, there's no self defense rule, which means either both parties could get accused of even whether who start no matter who starts it and no matter who pretty much goes overboard. So what he just brought up was because she was wearing glasses, if the liquor hit her just right, it could shatter the glass and put the glass in her eye. And that's technically considered assault. All right. So, yeah. And back to my bar reference in the US. If Gino and Ramsey were to do this crap like what they would have done here, then 10 to 1, like Yellowstone, they could have gotten injured, which means if they would have gotten put in the hospital, then that would be entirely on them. And if they go, well, I'm gonna sue him, it's like, yeah, you caused the problem. Problem got resolved with you with a broken arm, probably like Tom and Jerry. Your foot's in a cast dangling up. Be thankful. Be thankful you're still breathing. Simple as that. But anywho, let's continue.
Shut up, you dirty ass thought, you dirty ass fucking dirty bitch. Don't ever lie on my ass again, ugly ass thought. Swear to God, I got so.
So he says something.
And we all know what he says here because so right here when he starts going off on Moxie, accusing her of lying and calling her all kinds of names that you never call a female, we already know what he says. And I'm not gonna repeat his exact words. He said he's got Somalian in bombs with with an A that would pretty much to her. But if you guys get my slang right there, you guys know I'm trying to not cuss and not drop any slurs or stuff like that. But That's what he remotely said. That's what he remotely said. He basically threatened her with that. So we know that Moxie got threatened. So we're gonna see. We're gonna continue on and see how this goes, and then we're gonna go from there.
something illegal thing, which is a hot say something.
So we are gonna fast forward a little bit. I'm gonna back this up
So let's listen in because he's gonna say something criminal.
because he's gonna say something criminal right here.
Did you hear that?
Don't touch us. Don't we in the street? I swear to God, I'll
No.
slap this. No, this. I got somebody that take off by force.
There you go.
Oh, okay. Now you guys heard that one. You guys heard that one. Oh, okay. If you guys heard that, I will tell you this much. If he was to say that stuff in a bar in the U.S. and he basically would have said the exact same thing, he would have said like right here. If he would have said the exact same thing, again, Yellowstone rules. Okay? Yellowstone rules would be break bones, break jaws, break pretty much anything now, and when you are confronted with the police, it would be pretty much a deal with the problem later. Again, like I said, Jet, that would have been Yellowstone rules, hands down, no holds barred. That would be like, yeah, you really screwed up, so you put yourself in hot water, or you put yourself in some serious hot dog water that you can't get yourself out of.
Go. There it was. He slipped and he didn't mute it. He had so somebody.
So we're gonna fast forward through
We just screwed up
again.
inventory so bad, we're dumping $200 knives for $20.
Okay,
That's up there. Yeah,
sorry
that's
guys.
pretty bad. Like,
So
and
he
he's
said
all
what was
platform.
pretty bad.
Great.
Okay, what he said was pretty bad. Put himself in hot dog water. That's for sure enough. Now, again, I have been going in and out, in and out. If I do get ads, guys, I apologize. I will have to put up an ad blocker or something like that, but I will figure out a way to do that. So let's continue on.
Getting that video.
But we're gonna
I
fast
noticed
forward through what legal mindset was saying.
So then Xena showed.
Okay, so we're gonna get back to here.
Don't touch me.
So this other streamer, this other kick streamer by the name of Xena the Witch, all right, she heard that Moxie got threatened, so she decided to step up, which I will give her kudos for that. I will give her kudos for that, because believe me, this Chica looks PO'd enough, and I yes, I called her Chica, and I'm not talking about the animatronic from Five Nights at Freddy's. No, we are talking like this Chica, as a Spanish word for chick, pretty much was PO'd. Now, if she was carrying brass knuckles, I could definitely see her using them at a 500 mile per hour pace. And if she did, we'd definitely be seeing a one piece battle going on. And the battle I'm referencing to is the first match between Rob Lucci and Monkey D. Luffy. And if you guys know that fight, that's good. If you don't know that fight, you'll understand why if you haven't watched the show yet, but you'll understand that fight once you get to that point. So anyway, let's continue.
So then Xena showed.
Okay, so we're gonna fast forward this hair. Okay. So you see, she's stepping up. Now I will give her kudos. She's stepping up for her friends. That's what friends should actually do. They step up for each other if they were in hot water or if they needed defending because of mess like this. And the jawline of the guy you're seeing is the sugar daddy of Ramsey Khalid Ismail, or Ramsey Khalid Ismail, I should say, because to fill you guys in, when he was locked down in South Korea, basically Hank Yu, the guy you see in the jawline of, that looks like a supernatural character wannabe, and we all know which character he is because he's wearing the trench coat, the blue belt, blue shirt, but he's not really, so you know there. Um, Ramsey has been staying with him. The guy has been buying him food, been buying and helping him get medicine, and basically just been doing all that stuff, even helping with his bills. When he should be handling this stuff on his own. And on top of that, he he if I can point, I'm probably gonna need to figure out how to switch my camera around. So let me see. So I have to switch my camera around because, like I said, when I point with my left hand, with how the camera is, when I point with my left hand, it looks like I'm pointing. Well, yeah, I just have to reverse it because it's a different thing. So and I'm pointing to the jawline of the Castiel wannabe, is the guy that Ramsey lives with and basically helped him the whole time while he was staying there. Basically, he's locked down and all that stuff. Yeah, so technically, he pretty much is the sugar daddy of Ramsey Khalid Ismail, or in this case, the Papa Bear to him, pretty much. I'm not gonna get too. I'm not gonna get too far into it, but we all know. If you guys ever heard stories about like the night before, was the night before Christmas, Call of Duty Black Ops 6 style, when they talk about Nick, two of the characters in the thing, I don't know what, I forget what the name of the one character is. He goes, "I'll be Big Spoon, you be Little Spoon." Yes, and then, but I know that was the line in the story because it was a parody of the story. But anyway, let's get back into it. So, so you see, so okay, so I'm gonna pause right here when we get to the. So right here, as you guys can see, Hank is in the middle of this. Dagnabbit. So Hank is in the middle of this, and you see Xena and Gino chesting up, like bumping chests. Gino's sitting there telling her to hit him, and you can see on his face, like from the angle I got it paused at, guys, you can see he is drunk off his butt, and he probably picked the wrong time to quit sniffing glue. But he's basically telling a woman who looks like if she was carrying brass knuckles could break his jaw to hit him. Okay? Now, again, she's trying her best not to. I can see because she's bumping chest, trying to get him to back off. She's trying to do it in a non-violent. She's trying to do it like the crap. What was the name of that one guy? Gandhi way. Like she's trying to do it in a non-violent kind of way. But of course, Gino it keeps testing her to hit him. So yeah, but we all know Ramsey and Gino, intoxicated or not, they're both a couple of chihuahuas. Because put it this way, whenever they step up, they're like those videos when you have the chihuahua barking at the big dog that's behind glass, thinking he's the head of the honcho, he's the head honcho, he's the big dog. But then when the owner opens the door and the chihuahua's just looking at the owner like looks at the owner and he's got that look like, yep, I'm royally screwed. Anyway, let's continue on. We still have another 12 minutes. Uh, yeah, 12 minutes and 11 seconds. So we're gonna keep this going, and I'll tell you, I will fast forward through when Legal Mindset speaks, but I will put in my 2 cents in. I would watch everything, but I don't want to watch everything completely. So we're gonna try to do our best to do what we can.
Why don't you stop this? Do something. Do something.
All right.
You do something. Now I said I got niggas that'll do it. And I got niggas that'll get you too, Zena.
Oh, okay. See right there. he pulled another thing. He threatened two kick streamers. Okay, and this should be on their page. He threatened two kick streamers. And right here, Hank, right there, Hank you, the lover boy of Ramsey Khalid Ismail, who's sitting there playing like he's the angel of the bunch, is not doing a thing. I mean, he's trying to keep Johnny from Xena, or he's trying to keep Ramsey from Xena, but Gino's sitting there stepping up like he's pretty much gonna be pretty much trying to act like he's having a Mexican standoff. Or sorry guys, I quote Delta Force for a reason because I always keep thinking in my head when you have two people facing off, and I keep hearing and the character keeps saying, well, looks like we got ourselves here a Mexican standoff. So, you know, but anyway. So anyway, but as you guys can see, right behind Hank, oh dear lord, right behind Hank, where my finger's pointing, I'll have to use my finger. Unless I can get a cursor to show up on stream, can't do that. But right where Hank is, Xena and Gino are going at it. Now again, earlier reference. That Chica, if she were to have brass knuckles on her, she'd probably go off on him like the fight between Rob Lucci and Monkey D. Luffy. So yeah. But anywho, let's continue.
See, they're up. So now
Oh yeah. So we're gonna fast forward this a little bit. Oh, yeah, I went too far.
more threats there to somebody else as
Okay,
well.
we're gonna have to play this a little bit. So right here.
Why don't you do something?
So you see here, Chad. Xena the witch or Xena is basically calling him out to do something. But Hank is trying to stay neutral because he feels if he gets involved, he basically is going to royally get himself royally Harold and Kumar escape Guantanamo Bay, pretty much. Basically, where he'll be locked up in Guantanamo Bay, but he'll be getting like a good type of sandwich. But the only sandwich you'll get in prison, and it's not. And to quote, it's not a Subway sub. We're gonna go there right now. It's not a Subway sub. But you guys get what I'm saying? That's good. If you don't get what I'm saying, then I would suggest you watch Harold and Kumar Escape Guantanamo Bay, and you'll get what I'm talking about. Anyway, let's move on.
He gonna f you up, and he gonna f you up. You touch me, he gonna
Oh.
f you up. Bitch, I swear to God, bitch. Cause you gotta f
Yeah, you see, this is what I'm talking about. The earlier thing I told you guys about, you saw him backing up. You saw Gino backing up. Now, this is where the Chihuahua and Big Dog reference comes in. So basically, like I said in the previous reference, I almost said Gordon. Ugh. Ramsey Khalid Ismail and Gino are like little Chihuahuas. When they're behind a closed door and there's a bigger dog at the window, they'll bark thinking they're the head honchos, the king of the castle, the pretty much anything you would say for the big boss. But then when you open the door and that dog is growling, ready to tear them apart, they look at the owner like, "Why the heck did you put me in this situation?" In any way, that would be the same thing as equivalency as when Gino was in Thailand. Now, if you guys don't remember that clip, let me refresh your memory. So when Gino was walking the streets of Thailand, it was either Thailand or some other place. But he was walking along the road during the day or during the night. He basically was running his mouth, acting like he was a Timmy Tuffer, I should say. And he passes a group and he slams his fist, saying he would gut somebody alive. Well, that PO'd everybody, and right when he was about to get his butt whooped, he instantly stood down. Again, to quote another movie, Deuce Bigelow, European Gigolo, when a guy was talking during one of the lectures, he goes, "And I stood down." So basically, he stood down, all right, which basically he was lucky because those guys was about ready to pummel him and cut him off both at the figuratively, well, not not figuratively. My brain stutters like Porky Pig. Let's pause that, rewind. Basically, what I mean is they figuratively, not literally, cut him off at the balls because they could have beaten him up if they wanted to. But again, he cowered out, and he said he would pay for their drinks, pay for their food, anything to keep him safe. Now, this is the one lesson I always tell my chat. If you're traveling, it's best you know the culture, it's best you have a translator, and it's best that you do not show any signs of disrespect or evil. Because those three things can save your neck. So, which means the stuff that happened with Ramsey and Gino, yeah, they're pretty much chopped off at the balls, pretty much. So let's continue. Uh huh. See, this this is a problem. Okay, so if you guys heard that, basically Ramsey said he wouldn't fight Xena because she has a because, well, I'm not gonna say what she has, but basically he's pretty much saying because she's a woman. Okay, now this is where he's pretty much he's choking a dragon schlong and pretty much putting himself in the hot seat. He said he won't fight a woman, but here's the problem. He won't fight a woman or a man. Because anytime when he causes problems, the man wants to step up and pretty much whoop the heck out of him. He backs off and he backs off and he goes, I swear to Lord, I'll call the police. So he pretty much, he pretty much does an out of the bag attack, which means he acts tough, plays like he's gonna be the Timmy tough guy, and then the minute somebody wants to kick his butt, he pretty much stands down and then cowards out saying he was going to call the police. So we still have another 11 minutes and 22 seconds. So let's continue.
If you was a nigga, I'd slap the shit out of you. If you was a nigga, I'd slap the shit out of you.
Which is, by the
Yep, right there. So basically, I'm not going to say his exact words. Okay, again, he said basically if she was a male, he would slap the shiitake mushroom out of him. Or out of her, pretty much. So we will fast forward this a little bit, and we will do this.
I promise you.
threatens women.
If you was a nigga, I'd slap the shit out of you, bitch. I promise you. If you was a nigga, cause you gotta,
See?
Sometimes
Dagnabbit. Okay, guys, again, I'm sorry, but I keep getting ads left and right, so I'm going to try to get through the ads and skip them. But this is the problem I do have. Every time
baby
we
steps
always
turn out
have
to be giant
ads
leaps.
going on. So I will mute the ads real quick, and then when the ads, and then I'll turn back on the audio. So what I'll do is every time I get an ad, I will try to mute the ad as quick as possible, mute it, and then when I can skip it, I will get back to the vid. So basically, as you guys can see, this guy right here in the black hoodie, he's trying to keep the separation at peace. Like they're basically trying to keep the two separate from each other. Now, again, let's list the recap of this video. Ramsey and Gino threatened Moxie, then they threatened Xena. Now, if those two wanted to, they could have pressed charges. And plus, the big stinker around here, he basically caused around the ABC Pizza, which, again, mind you guys, it's obstruction of business. Now, if you guys don't remember, he already has 4. Dagnabbit. Sorry, guys. When I lay on my hands for so long, my hand goes numb. So if you see me clenching my fist, it's because my hand's going numb for a hot minute. Try to move it. So remember, he has 4 obstructions of business, and the 4 was from the Korean 7-Eleven, which I don't remember the name of it, but I know it's a 7-Eleven, Lotte World, and 2 places of public transportation. Now, if they wanted to, because this is part of evidence, they could hit him with this right on top of his consequences. Could, if the owners did put the thing in. If they did, that's good. He gets more for his buck. But if they didn't, okay. He's already looking at 3 years. And again, to remember his upcoming trial, he is looking into 3 years of prison with labor, a fine of 150,000 Korean won, and he's also looking into being on the registered sex offenders list. Now, if you guys want to know why about that one, the next time I do another OBS stream like this, if I get good views on this, I will pull up the Lotte World vid and I will show you guys exactly what was said. Well, I can't really show you what was said. All I could do is probably translate it, read you what it said word for word, but I would probably have to censor some of the words. But anyway, let's continue.
Well, once again, this is pretty, you guys kind of get what's going on here. I'm going to let it play a little bit more because there's about another 2 minutes here.
All
And
right.
then there's a little bit more of a criminal side because you can see them continue to obstruct the business and continue to harass. Johnny's whole MO in getting harassed and handcuffs and other.
You came for a clout. You came for a clout.
Which is
See, so you just heard him. Now, there was a video a while back where he pretty much said something like when people confronted him about being racist and picking on other people from various countries. What was his quote? What was Ramsey's quote when somebody saying? Pretty much he pretty much critiqued it like, oh, why are you being so racist? Or why are you doing this? And then he said, for money, for clout. You know? And honestly, this is what I'm gonna say. If he was in any place in the U.S. and he would have done that crap, I could guarantee you guys, there were 3 possible scenarios that could happen. 3. 1, it would be like a Massachusetts and bringing up a history lesson. It would probably be a Salem, Massachusetts witch hunt for 1. Somebody would kick his rear end and probably shove his cell phone where the sun don't shine, and their odds of him getting it back would be having to get a colonoscopy. Or 3rd one, he goes to a bar and it's going to be pretty much Yellowstone winging it. He does something stupid, plays stupid games, wins stupid prizes. And again, don't condone violence. I am just saying my honest opinion on what could happen. So, before anybody comments down below under the video and say, oh, well, you shouldn't say this, da-da-da-da-da, it's like, first off, I'm not wishing anything bad happening to the guy. Okay? Just to put it legitimately, I am just saying the possibility scenarios, what could happen. Now, do I want it to happen? Honestly, no. But if you guys ever watched My Name is Earl, you remember the whole karma phase. You remember, if you guys remember the intro, he gets a lottery ticket winning a grand prize amount of money. As he was celebrating for being a complete and utter D-bag, he gets ran over by a car. The car puts him in the hospital. So he starts making a list of all the wrongs he's done, and he tries to correct it because of karma. So yeah, if Ramsey and Gino go through the same thing, ring-a-ding-ding, that's their problem. Alright. So we got another roughly, and like he said, we got another 2 minutes from Ramsey Khalid Ishmael's video, and then I'll probably stop it there and then put my 2 cents in because I tried to get as much as I could. So let's finish this up, and then once he finishes, I will cut the vid, and then I will grow my thing, and I'll explain where I see the point of the problems.
Ironic because literally all Johnny does have the biggest projection.
Because you have a. You came for a class.
Johnny to say that is the biggest.
Right here.
Because you have a. No, I got.
Oh,
Yeah,
once again, he's used the threaten to have people attack Xena and Moxie. How low can you get? That's a good question to ask. How low can you get? If this was the Middle Ages, we know how low it could get, and it wouldn't be good. Wouldn't be very, very good.
it doesn't matter. You're saying I'm better than my friend. I'm gonna do it. Agent, they're doing it on. So if they're doing
So
it.
we're gonna fast forward.
I got Somali do it.
Right here.
Go to Toronto. Go to Toronto.
Oh.
Same thing she live in Korea.
So here.
Oh. Okay.
Here's another thing too. Gino went back on the property.
Yeah. Now, if you guys don't remember, the owner said that they were not. It basically was already translated because remember, Hank translated what they said. They said they were not allowed on the property line, but they were on the public sidewalk or the public road. So, which means they were to go back on the property line, then they would be sued. However, remember, Ramsey has 4 obstructions of business. Second, Gino has zip because you guys remember what happened. When he was about to get arrested, he flew the coop. Gino pretty much flew the coop, which means basically he was like, I'm going to cut out. So you know how that goes. Alright, but anywho, let's continue.
So Gino was told not to go. Saw him clearly walk across the line again.
I'm not leaving Korea without money. Oh, now you dirty herpy ass.
Okay, here's a.
Oh. Okay, now I forget who this chick is, but I remembered seeing her stuff. I remember seeing some of her stuff, and she sounded like she has a thick accent. I remember hearing. I mean, like, because I was on Kick when I saw these whole attacks, and I wanted to get some video feeds. I should have downloaded them just to be on the safe side. But like I said, didn't have an editing computer, didn't have this. But Xena, Moxie, and this chick, I forget her name, but she was also threatened, and also what Ramsey said out of his mouth, he basically accused her of having a I'm not gonna say it, but a type of disease is one thing. That's as far as I'm gonna say. And you guys might know this one, but the best way I can describe what disease he brought up. If you guys remember the scene from Family Guy, now Brian and Stewie swapped blood. If you guys don't remember, basically what happened was they did the whole traditional brother bonding thing where they cut their hands with a knife and pretty much put their hands together and swapped blood. Then you remember what happened after that. So if you guys remember that scene and you remember what Stewie got along with what Brian had, that's good. You know what I'm talking about. If you don't, look up that scene, go from there, and we can go from there. So let's continue.
Another one. Sorry, accuses this girl of having herpes. Somebody of clear cut. You have herpes against do that. PDA section. In fact, knowing so.
A single fatal weakness destroys every traditional lighter.
Doggone it. Okay.
Now in Korea, defamation is he would if he's allowed. Come to Korea.
Right
I
here.
swear to God, you dirty ass herpy thigh. I swear to God, I'll fuck you up. Dirty ass.
Yeah, and all she did was flip him off.
And also
And
saying
basically, she's flipping him off. Okay, so if you guys see this chick, it's a little blurry here, but if you see her flipping him off, basically she's telling him to go Fujitora himself. Now, I, now I'm gonna pause this here for a minute, and I'm gonna put in a quote here. If he was in an isekai, and if him and Gino were in an isekai, and if you watch anime, you know what an isekai is. Basically, an isekai. If you don't know what an isekai is, basically it's like if a main character from so just to calmly explain what an isekai is. An isekai would be like if someone from one timeline dies, they basically get reincarnated. So like best reference I could think of for that, and you guys can watch an anime from it. There are three isekai animes I can recommend you guys watching. Uh, we'll just have to, but there were some isekais where basically the character is magically swept there. Okay, so we're gonna wait with so two isekais I can think of where the character dies but they get reincarnated. From what I remember, there's In Another World with My Smartphone, and that time I got reincarnated as a slime. There are more. I There's two more at the top of my head, but I cannot remember. Okay, so basically, I will have to basically look into it. And if I do anime reviews, guys, I will see what I can do. I will see what can come up, but we will do what we can do. But anyhow, guys, again, I am sorry if my audio feels like I'm like a Charlie Brown parent where I'm going wah 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 wah. I apologize. I'm trying my best to fix this to the best of my abilities. If I can get a proper like I said, I got an editing laptop. If I can get a proper computer and get myself completely 100% hooked up and shooked up, I can probably do this a lot better. So, all right, but let's move on.
That he will fuck her up.
I swear to God, we crashing out tonight. I don't give a.
Oh, it's why,
No, don't talk to the enemy. Fuck this.
why?
You. You came in here for clout. We came here to settle some shit.
Hey guys,
Yeah, so basically, you just heard her. You heard Xena. She said basically that Ramsey and Gino were here to press Moxie because they quote unquote claimed she owed Gino money. But yet he had no proof. Now, the way the situation should have been handled is if Moxie did owe Gino money, they should have been a little more subtle. And instead of coming here claiming, oh, hey, we're going to raise some hell, they should have just sat down civilly, drank some soju, and just said, okay, here's the text messages, here's this, here's that. You owe me this money. I would like to collect. That's all he could have done, but he turned into a real D-back. And yes, I am using a Dark Signer name, and there is an actual Dark Signer in Yu-Gi-Oh! 5D is called D-back, and it was when the whole Dark Signers and Dark Synchro Summon started in. So, So let's move on.
Because that making lies on me. No. Because the whole making lies on me. Because shut up. Shut up. Because you gotta. Because you gotta. That's why.
Oh, see?
If you had a dick, I slap the fuck out of you.
Oh, dear God. Okay. Now, pause though, I'm going to say this. So basically, he flat out told Xena that if she had a. What's the best word about this? The best way I could word this is if you guys remember the Austin Power movies, I forget which one it was. It was either The Man of Mystery or The Spy Who Shagged Me. It was either one of those two or Austin Powers and Goldmember. I can't remember exactly. But they made references where they launched a rocket and they pretty much did alternate names throughout the movie. where they cracked a joke about what the rocket was. Now people didn't understand it, but when they finally got the reference, they was like, "Ooh, okay, okay, that's the problem. That's what they did. Okay." But after they did that, then pretty much, So basically, now keep this in mind. It's the one where they would say like alternate names for a male genitalia for a rocket. So yeah, but basically we get the joke. If you're an adult, you'll get the joke. But if you're a kid, it'll fly right over your head. You know, because I had, and I will tell you guys this funny story, and we'll get back to it. So it was about roughly 5, 6 years ago. Um, Me and my family, we were all living together, and my littlest nephew was watching one of the Austin Power flicks. I can't remember which one it was, but I knew it was cracking all kind a joke where it was making references to the name of a certain part. So so when I went out to the living room, because he was watching this in the living room, I went out to the living room, and right then and there, it started mentioning like joke, like an alternate names for male genitalia. Now he couldn't get it, so I thought, okay, I'll be safe. Well, of course, here's what happened. I wound up getting decked 3 ways to Sunday because apparently my my sibling, I'm not gonna say who, but my sibling didn't know he was up. My littlest nephew was up watching an Austin Powers flick. So when that happened, she blamed me is the best way to put it, because I should have shut off the TV or done something. And this was about 5 years ago. I'm still laughing about it to this day. So the funny thing was how he used it, because he used to be bullied. He used it like he didn't say the actual word, but he used the term references. And once the bully got what he was being called, it was like he was telling his folks. And when his folks came down to confront us, so the parents confronted my sibling first, and I stepped in, and I was like, "Okay, what was your son called?" Because I stepped in, because I overheard the conversation. I was like, "Okay, I better step in before crap hits the fan." So I stepped in. I asked them what was your kid called, and basically they repeated the words. I said, "Okay, so he was called a hot dog. He was called any other thing, but was he called? But what are you trying to insinuate?" And basically they said, "Well, he was called the term for a male genitalia." And I was like, "Oh, you mean you mean downstairs where the family jewels is?" I wasn't gonna say the word because. And once they got what I was trying to say, they said, "Yeah." I said, "Okay, did he say the word? Was your kid literally called that?" And they said, "Well, no," but I was like, "There you go." So your kid made an assumption, but he wasn't called the word. Now, here's where the problem lies. If the kid was actually called the word, then I could see the reason why you both would have a reason to come down here and harass my nephew. When your kid bullies him every day, your kid takes his lunch, your kid does all this crap to him, yet when parents complain to you, both of y'all act like your kid's an angel. And I literally went full hell of a boss Luna Hellhound on him. And I said, "Look, here's the bottom line. Your kid got his comeuppance. We will deal with I will deal with my nephew, my sister, or my sibling will deal with her son as she sees fit. But if your kid decides to cross the border again, we will settle this up with the police." And that's what I told him. And I said, "Now you can leave our property and we can let this go, or you can stay on the property and we can keep this up. But there's two problems here. We got two houses that are recording us. So if you take a swing, they can call the police, and they will have proof that you both took the first shot. So without a word, they just left. And they took care of their kid. My nephew was taken care of, but honestly, he did get an earful from his mother. But I gave him kudos for not actually saying the word. So the way I see it, karma levels. I can understand he was in trouble, but at the same time, I was proud of him because he used movie quotes to avoid saying a word that could get him into trouble. So, if you guys think that's right, comment down below for me giving him kudos when he was in trouble. If you guys think that was a wrong move, then, same thing, but I could probably leave a poll in the comments asking if what I did was right there. If you guys think it was right, then you can leave a comment why. They can leave a comment. If you guys think it wasn't right, leave a comment down below. But
If you had a dance
no,
like the
sorry. Let's rewind that a little bit. But anyway, let's get back to the vid. This video will have another 12 minutes. And again, I'm going to put it this way. The reason why I'm using a legal mindset vid is because of the fact that I could not find the full vid. So I couldn't find the live vid or the full vid without legal mindset because just to give you guys a heads up, Ramsey cleared his database. So, like, everything he's done, because he knew, oh, shit, I'm getting collected, he deleted everything down to the last piece of data you can find. So, which is why I'm using Legal Mindsets vid. I did leave a disclaimer that this is only a reaction vid.
if you had a dance like the fuck out of if you had a dance like the fuck out of you. Shut up, Gina. I swear to God.
Yeah, so
Yep, so right there. To quote Cowboy Way, ain't polite to swear to the man upstairs, is the best way I'll put it. Because you guys hear him running his mouth. He's basically doing this. This is what he's doing. Just yapping like a motorboat. This is what he needs to do. And he needs to quit stuttering like Porky Pig because remember what I said, guys. He is like a chihuahua. He will bark a big game. Sorry, I'm checking my stuff real quick. But he'll bark a big game, and then the minute he barks a big game, he will basically when the big dog's released, he will back off. He'll pretty much cower out and say, "Oh, well, I'm gonna call the cops," and blah. So you guys saw that. Anyway, let's continue.
so calling him that he would get.
But right here.
I swear to God, Gina, you about to make a go crazy. Maria, get the fuck out of here, dirty.
Oh yeah, that's Maria. So yeah, like I said, from Maria's perspective, as you guys can see, she's pretty much giving him the middle finger, telling him he can. Well, I'm not gonna say what's on my mind, but let's put it this way: she's pretty much telling him to. Best quote I could use is what everybody can say to avoid cussing. She's pretty much telling him to sit and spin. That's the best way I could put it. So, yeah. So we know all of this going on. Like I said, there were two ads that played in the video. I need to get ad block again. I apologize. I will see what I can do about the ad block and do what I can do from there. But let's move on.
So I guess her name is Marie.
Megan, oh,
And he
And he put and right here. Now this is where I'm gonna guess what he says. So we know what he said to Xena and Moxie, but he muted his stream because here's the thing: when I saw the kick version from their perspectives, apparently he said the exact same thing to Maria. All right, so he basically did the exact same thing to Maria when he threatened Moxie and Xena. which is a childish thing to do. Because, like I said, if again bringing up that this, I know this is the third time I'm using this reference, guys. I apologize, but let's think about it like Yellowstone rules. Okay, let's take a minute, think about it like Yellowstone rules. If him and Gino were pretty much at the same place, and the self defense laws were active, and I mean, like, if he was in that country, okay. First off, I'm stuttering like Porky Pig. Let me pause, rewind, and let's try this again. Let's think of this like Yellowstone rules. If if the area he was in was like a bar, and he would have done the same thing, and it's Yellowstone rules, so keep that in mind, and he got his butt kicked, then that would be the reason why. Okay? He would basically get his butt kicked, probably risk some broken bones, and probably get thrown through glass like you guys seen in any bar fight movie. You know? He would probably risk all that. Or someone would be carrying brass knuckles or anything to that extent. Now, but here's the thing. Like we know about Gino and Ramsey, both of them are cowards. Like they'll say they will do this, but then when they get confronted, like someone approaches them with their fist clenched, then they'll back off. Cause like I said, they're chihuahuas, or the better yet, they're like shoot, oh shoot, I really want to use a Yu-Gi-Oh reference here. I really want to use a. There is one Yu-Gi-Oh reference I want to use, but then that would be an insult to the Yu-Gi-Oh series. But it, but I'm just gonna say it. So basically, let's say if you guys remember when Yugi, Joey, Tristan, Duke, and Serenity took on the Big Five. You remember when Duke, Serenity, and Tristan faced off against Nesbit, one of the Big Five who took commander of Robo Knight. Okay, when Tristan lost, he lost his body. His mind was put in a robotic monkey. Okay, now this was I forget what season of Yu-Gi-Oh this was, but I remember the scene. Basically, Tristan's mind was put in a robotic monkey, and the whole time when he was feeling down in the dumps, he nuzzled into Serenity. Like Serenity hugged him close, like close to the chest area. Okay, when she did that, if you put that reference like that, I would say that would be Hank and Gino. Like the robot, if there were two robot monkeys, that would be Hank and Gino, and their Serenity would be, or not Hank. I can't even speak right. The two robot monkeys would be Ramsey and Gino, and their Serenity would be Hank or Hank U. That would actually be pretty funny. If anybody could make a meme of that, like if they could find a Yu-Gi-Oh scene of that, and then just pretty much make a meme, but edit the video a bit, make it look like there are two robot monkeys, and they're both nuzzling into Serenity, but it's like Hank, Ramsey, and Gino. I, that would actually be pretty funny. Like if you guys can do that, that would actually be pretty great, pretty great. Anywho, let's move on.
Pauses. He goes, he's probably, when it's muted, Somali, footage of them would be.
Oh,
Mr.
dang it.
Universal is back with a new and improved design built.
Okay. Dang it. Okay, I gotta rewind a bit. Again, guys, I know I've apologized profusely. I will see about getting an ad block. So, like, if I use the browser and do all this, I can actually watch the stuff without an ad popping up. But I don't know what YouTube's going to do because apparently there has been wording going around where you can't have an ad block on YouTube because if you have an ad block, they're like, yeah, you need to remove the ad block. Twitch is actually there are several streaming services that are doing the same thing. Where if you have an ad block, they're going to tell you to remove it before you can watch any vids. It's like, yeah, no, because I don't want to see ads. But if there was an ad block that could just let you skip through the ads and then they could still get paid for it, that's another thing. Ugh. Sorry guys, I'm working on it, but my hand, like right where my pinky is, because I'm laying on it, because I'm laying on my arm right now, because I don't have a proper workstation. It keeps going numb, so I got to try to keep the blood flow going. All right, so let's move on. We're gonna rewind it a little bit.
And that's why the footage of them would be interesting. Their footage would be very interesting.
Yeah. So basically, yeah. So basically, what he just explained, that Ramsey muted everything. So basically, he was probably having a crash out and basically just threatened everybody left and right, saying that he would take care of them on his own terms, threatening all kinds of stuff that I'm not going to repeat. So basically, he's threatening a type of fruit or grape on all of them. So we don't, but I'm just throwing an assumption here. I'm not 100% sure. Like I said, if I can find the Kick footage, like if I could go back on Kick, look through everyone's things, because they just should have the clips of all this. I'll try to download them and try to post them back up, but I will try to see if I can find exactly what we need. But I know it's the ABC Pizza event, so, or ABC Pizza Tobacco. So this is almost over, but like I said, guys, I don't know how long until this part gets over. But once he closes out this video, that's when the video will end, and then I will put in my 2 cents in. And then, like I said, guys, I will explain everything from left to right with a grain of salt. So let's continue. All right. So basically, it's all, yeah. So basically, he unmuted from
He's
it.
muting it once again. He's muting it. Why is he muting this? Why is it?
Yeah. Again, if we know his type, guys, he's basically trying to watch what he says because of terms of service, and because if the footage was pulled up, it could be used as a lawsuit. So he'll unmute for a minute, then he'll mute again. So like what Legal Mindset asked, why is he muting this? Basically, what he's doing is he's starts off the conversation, then he mutes because he knows, like he knows that if he threatens, because I mean he's already defamed, accused, threatened on 2 or 3 counts. So that's already all that there. So basically, he's already pretty much put himself in a trap hole right now. Except, well, no, strike that. He put himself in a oh boy. He put himself in a sticky situation. That's what I'm just gonna say. So yeah, that's pretty much what I'm gonna say. I will have to re-edit this when I get on the YouTube, guys. So it's gonna be a little bit. So sorry, guys. I have to check something real quick. All right. So yeah. So let's continue.
Disputed because he's probably making a lot of threats.
See, so he mutes it a third time. So you see, within the corner span of this little chunk of vid, he does it twice, unmutes, then unmute a third time because he doesn't want people to hear him, but yet other people outside is hearing him right now. Now, here's the funny thing: if I were to do different perspectives, so like if I were to look on Kick under Xena, Maria, and Moxie, and I were to find those clips, guys, yes, I would be downloading them. I will make sure to rehash them, and I will put in my 2 cents in on exactly what he did and said. But I will be sure to watch exactly what was said because we know for sure that he dropped some serious threats.
He unmuted it for a second, and what you heard Hank saying, you're going to charge her, like it's like kind of talking about something, right? Talking about some sort of thing they're going to do.
Oh, well, see, so the whole time, so you guys see this one. So basically, and this must be another kick streamer by the name of Jerron. But what Ramsey does is he gets up in his face, telling him not to get involved. You're innocent. You know, basically he's still throwing a threat. But at the same time, he basically is doing this whole crap where he's trying to put him in a light where it's like, you get involved, you're gonna be in trouble. You're gonna be in trouble. That's pretty much it. Okay, so that's what I think is ridiculous.
So once again, still obstructing the business, still.
And legal mindset's right. So basically, Ramsey and Gino are still obstructing the business. So like I said, guys, if you guys remember, he already had 4 business obstructions. Which again, we're gonna relate. He has 4 business obstructions, 2 minor offenses act, and 2 deepfake charges. Now, if you guys remember, like it was now, this is where this it gets interesting. So if you guys remember, he was trying to get the deepfake charge dropped down to 1 because he tried to make a deal with Yuma, which they did make a deal, but it wasn't official. Now, here's the funny thing about this one. So in South Korea, the judge, the the judge and the prosecutor are the ones that control the details. So example, if you're settling something out of court and you guys sign paperwork and stuff like that, and you gave it to the court in the U.S., then it's like, if you guys are resolving this, we will discuss the court case, we'll discuss the deal, da 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 da. But in South Korea, if it was not officially done in front of a judge or a prosecutor, and this is what I would know, if it's not, because I looked it up and I even watched a few vids. If it was not done in front of a judge and a prosecutor in South Korea, they're gonna be like, yeah, close the door, yeah, close the window, yep, drop the guillotine, toodaloo, drink a hogget, skip the gutter, drop the guillotine. I can name every info for, yeah, that's not, it's sticking, grow a pair and deal. So basically, the second deep fake to the deep fake charge with Youngman never got dropped. So again, bringing you guys up to speed. 4 minor crimes acts, 2 minor offenses acts, and or no, pause, rewind, say that again. 4 obstructions of businesses, 2 minor offenses acts, and 2 deepfake charges. Now, will they add this before when the finale hits? They might, rabbits. They might, of course. But we'll figure that out. We'll figure that out.
Still going on the like what was that? What was that?
Oh, let's hear this.
Nah, 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 nah. Oh what? Oh what? Don't touch me, ho. Don't touch me.
So definitely pushing each.
So you see, so Gino right here from this clip angle, Gino pushed Xena, which I'm sure that Ramsey pushed Moxie. So I'm sure of it. Because if I remember right, at the end of this vid, I know we see Moxie on the ground. So we're gonna take a look, see, figure this out, and then go from star to star. Also, to all my viewers that are in, welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. Make sure you pop in, drop the conversation, and we'll go from there.
Each other definitely going back
So
and
we're
forth here with Xena like in Gina.
so we're gonna fast forward a little bit. So right here. So
Don't ever lie on me like that, bitch ass.
oh, see, so basically, so I remembered the clip from Moxie. So right here when she's on the ground, now right over here. Sorry guys, I'm trying my best to fix this. So you guys see Moxie on the ground, the girl in the white dress. Basically, from the clip on Kick, and I will try to see if I can find all the clips and save them, and then I could probably do an OBS thing. So with the girl in the white dress, which is Moxie, he basically goes towards her camera and flips her camera in the air, which basically also causes her to fall to the ground because he shoved her. From her perspective, that is exactly what happened. Then you guys hear the whistle blow.
So pushing each other, throwing each other down. There's some potential assault right
So,
there. How did you fall? I think it's
you know,
he pushed him, right? So is there an assault right there? Did you drop something? Did you break something?
yeah,
Right?
she
Looked like
probably
Johnny
broke her
pushed him.
phone, that's for sure. So if you guys see that, so you see Gino's getting up in her face because, and he's bringing up that she has an OF. Now, to be fair, guys, again, we're gonna bring up Yellowstone rules. If Gino or Ramsey was ever in a bar like that and he got up in a woman's face like that, I can just about guarantee you someone would grab the back of their heads, slam them into a bar hard enough that they would break their nose, break their teeth, and then throw them through a glass window. I can guarantee you that's what would happen. So, right there. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to get a freaking. I'm definitely gonna have to get a freaking ad blocker. All right, let's get back to this.
Back on. Back on. Nobody touch nobody.
So he
Oh,
literally pushed her for sure, but yeah.
yeah. So basically, Ramsey right there pushed Moxie. So we know that for a fact. He literally pushed Moxie. And Hank is just sitting there like, yeah, I don't believe it.
Man, this is getting crazy.
And I think Hank gives one more thing, and I want to catch that, and then we're done here.
Don't put no camera on my
There we go.
face. I'll smack the shit. Don't put no camera on my face. Don't hit my. Don't. Fuck Sneeko did. Go suck.
So this is actually interesting. So as we heard from Faberius,
So yeah, you guys heard that one. So we're gonna fast forward a bit, and then we're gonna get to what Hank says exactly
kick, and that pisses him off.
YouTube.
right here.
I'll smack your camera out your shit.
Yeah, yeah. Again, guys, if they were that, now you see how Gino is cocky and arrogant. Okay. Now again, guys, we're gonna bring up anime rules, and we're gonna bring up Yellowstone rules. Anime rules. If he was facing off against anybody that would whoop him so hard that he would be, I'm not going to get into a good description, but let's say we'll use the Invincible rules for example. So like if you guys ever watched Invincible on Prime, you know how bloody, how badly the injuries get. If you guys know that, if those two were playing by Yellowstone and Invincible rules, you guys already know my opinions. They would probably get their butts whooped. They would probably either get a broken nose, broken teeth, and get thrown out a window. Or if they were playing Invincible rules, they'd probably get thrown so high into space that all the air from them would be just. So either way, either one of those rules, they would probably get their butts whooped. Because you see how cocky and arrogant this guy is, and you from the sideways mug shot. I'll tell you what. From the sideways mug shot, somebody could probably put a carrot in his mouth or something else. Not gonna say what, but I'll say. But let's just say a carrot, for example.
Camera in my face. I'll smack that shit the fuck out of here. Let's go, Gino. This is retarded. Hey, let's go, Hank.
Now you see. Now let's listen to Hank. Let's listen to Hank. Let's listen to Hank. Let's see what he says, and then this will probably be the end of the video.
They bullshitting you, but it's all on camera. Only fan. They can sue you if you post them and you find that shit. We don't call.
So there it is. They can sue you if you cause
Cause
them any financial damage. That's the last.
All right, guys. So we're gonna end that there. We are going to stop the interaction. I will remove this real quick. Give me 1 sec. We will remove. Yes, and I will grow my camera out. So yeah, guys. So basically, we just watched a whole clip. So we just watched a whole clip of the ABC Pizza. Yes, we did have a few ads. I apologize about that one. And I again, guys, I am sorry. Like I said, I will have to get an ad block. But so you guys saw all that footage. Now, again, guys, this is where I put my 2 cents in, and then I'm gonna call it, and then I'll probably go play some games or something. So first off, as you guys saw, if again you saw how that mess had set at counts of assault, pretty much threatening, then Gino and Ramsey acting like cocky, arrogant punkards. Then it led to threats, which we all know what the threats were. And you all know how Gino was walking away acting all smug. Again, we're going to say it for mercy's sake. If this was Yellowstone rules, anime rules, or Invincible rules, yeah, we could definitely see them getting the short end of the stick. Or or if they were in the movie Hancock with Will Smith. Now, if you guys remember that one, you guys remember the scene when Hancock was in prison trying to go back to his cell. He had two prisoners pretty much stand in his way. He asked them politely to move, but they wouldn't move. And he basically threatened saying that one of their heads is going to go up their rear end, or the other guy's head's going to go up the other guy's rear end. Well, he kept his word. Now, if it was Hancock rules and that was Ramsey and Gino, yeah, that would probably be an interesting. Of course, the way to get those two separate would be a colonoscopy. But anyway, guys, I wanted to bring that up because I wanted to pull some strings and get some stuff up about Ramsey because as you all know that we have 4 days until the big day for the trial, which I am looking forward to because to be fair, it will be just uh, totally delicious to figure out what happens to him. Now, we already know that the prosecutors and the judge asked for 3 years in Korean prison with labor. We know that he is supposed to be paying, he has to pay a fine of 150,000 Korean won, which is equivalent to 150 American dollars. And he has to be on the registered sex offender list in South Korea for 5 years. But here's the kicker, and I did see this with Legal Mindset, and he explained this. If he were to come back to the U.S., he would have 3 business days to register as a sex offender from another country. Otherwise, he'll spend 10 years in jail. So I'm gonna say that's a chef's kiss. He pretty much got his comeuppance. He got his karma. Now, the bottom line is, if he did wind up in prison for 10 years, if people know who he is, let's just say, ooh, let's just say if he's a registered, that's not a good sign. Because guys, I will tell you this. I have seen enough. Well, I actually haven't seen enough, but I do know that some people know. I do know people that knows what happened to people in jail if they have that kind of baggage on their file. So I'm just gonna say that's if Ramsey comes back to the states and he has that on his file and he has to go to prison for 10 years. Let's just say he's gonna be in for taking a lot of baggage. Pause though on that one. But anyhow, guys, I'm gonna get off here. I will see about finding the clips on Kick. I will do what I can do. If I do find the clips, I'll probably do another OBS thing, but I will have to edit it up a little bit so in case YouTube's algorithms or something starts messing up. So, if you guys like the content, Be sure to like, subscribe, and favorite. Comment down below. Turn on notification bell so anytime I go live, you get the ring a ding ding. Know I'm in the bling. If you guys are from the other side of the world, have a good morning, good evening, good night. If you're from the other side of the world, reverse of reverse. If you're from the good old USA, have a good night, do a good morning, do a good day. Bach the Rock signing out, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side. And also, guys, like I said, be sure to check out Legal Mindset if you guys want to catch up on the Ramsey Khalid Ismail case, or as his moniker is called, quote, and I'm using air quotations, quote, Johnny Somali, unquote, which, again, we give him no respect, so we use his legal name. So, anyhow, guys, this is Bach the Rock signing out. I'll catch you guys on the flip side, or I'll see you guys soon on a game. Peace out, and I'll catch